just a little bit different because we are going to be comparing the piano fills between two different versions of the same song. The version in 1972 recorded by George Jones and the version recorded in 1999 by Alan Jackson. So let's get started. Let's get right to it. I'll begin each time with the version of the fill as played on the George Jones recording, and then immediately we'll look at the Alan Jackson version. The very first fill is at the end of the first phrase. It comes in on beat 4. It is built around a G chord, but it's a G chord in the first inversion, meaning that the B is on the bottom, a D in the middle, and then G on top. The lick itself starts on the B, then you'll have a passing tone of a C, then to the chord tone of D, up to the other chord tone of G. Then you're going to have a neighboring tone of A, back to the chord tone of G, then a passing tone of E, and then the chord tone of D. So that's the outline of the lick. Now in rhythm, it's like this. 1, 2, 3. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. You'll notice that I'm playing that with my left hand, and in the earlier part of the video, I was playing it with my right. The choice is yours. In either event, you're playing with a band, and so you put the hand, usually that's not doing anything, you just kind of rest it on the chord. Mainly this is just optics. But I'm playing it with my left hand because I don't particularly enjoy reaching across with my right at the moment. So I have some arthritis going on in my right thumb, so the reaching over is just not comfortable. Sorry about that, folks. So instead of playing it with my right, I'm going to play it with my left. Either way is fine. You have to do what you're comfortable with, and if you're right-handed, chances are you'll want to go ahead and reach over and do that. All right, one more time, and then we'll move on. 1, 2, 3. All right, so the Alan Jackson lick is almost identical. It's the same chord, same licks. There's only one small difference. You play, and when you get up to the G, you're going to do a little figure. In theory, I believe we used to call this a mordant. And all a mordant is you're playing a note, and then you play the note either above or below it really fast and come back like this. And you've heard that a lot in classical music. So they add the mordant in for the Alan Jackson version. So the lick with that would sound like this. 1, 2, 3. Nice, huh? Let's listen to that again. 1, 2, 3. All right, let's move on to the second lick. And again, this is going to come, obviously, at the end of the second phrase. It's going to start for the George Jones version on the and of beat 3. 3. And all that means is you'd have 1, 2, 3, and the lick would start there. And it's going to be built around a D chord, but it's a D chord in second inversion, meaning this time the A is on the bottom, D is in the middle, F sharp on the top. And we're starting on the A, hitting that chord tone of D. Then we're going to do this little passing tone, but we're going to hit it twice. The E, and then you will play an F sharp and a D, rock back and forth. Then E and a C, and then a D and a B together. This sound, very common in country music. That's the interval of a sixth. And very often we'll use those parallel 6 as a basis for some licks and fills. And that's kind of what's happening here, except it's broken up. So that lick is A, D, E, E again. We're going to rock back and forth, F sharp, D to F sharp, then E and C, and then D and B together. Now, you want to hear that in rhythm? Of course you do. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Now let's look at the Alan Jackson version. Again, very, very similar. Only this time, instead of starting on the and of 3, we're going to start on the and of beat 2. And it's got this little rocking thing. When you start on the A and you go to D, you're going to go back to the A. Then you're going to hit the E, go back to the A. So you have... The next part of the lick is very similar to the first one. I'm sorry. And you rock. Now in the first lick, remember, we went on down to the D and B. And this one we're going to play. You're going to hold the D and then add the B. So let me put that together so you can hear that in rhythm and in context. 1, 2. And I slipped one in on you there at the end. I just can't help myself. The lick was to end with the B. I did a bent note. Again, it's that Nashville sound. So let me do that lick one more time with the bent note, because that's how I would play it. 1, 2. All right, now let's go to the third lick. The third lick, in the George Jones version, it's exactly the same as the first lick. Not a lot of need to spend any time there. The Alan Jackson version, however, is totally different. We're going to go back to those sixths that I referred to earlier. So we're starting on a D and a B, and it rocks back and forth with the D and the B and the E and C. So you have, then you have a C and an A, an E and a C, and a D over a B. See, it's all right there together, so you don't have very far to travel. Pretty easy. Starts on beat 4. 1, 2, 3. Let me do that again. 1, 2, 3. All right, let's look finally at the last lick. The George Jones version is again, we're going to start with that G in the first inversion. And it's going to have a B, a passing tone of C, the chord tone of D, and then we're going to have G, chord tone of D, and then we're going to do that Nashville thing. We have an A and a D together, and we're going to go to a B and a D. We're going to hit that slide, and then there's a little walk up to go into the chorus. So that lick starts on beat 2, sounds like this. 1, 2. Again, 1, 2. The Alan Jackson lick's going to start on a G and a D. And let me just break this down first because you're going to kind of be doing a parallel lick. I call that a sweet Adeline. All right, so you have a D, the D flat or C sharp, C, B. In your left hand, the G is held for the first 2 notes, then E and C together, then D and B. And then you're going to have an E and a C together, an F sharp and a D together, a C and an A together, and a D and a B together. So you're getting that sixth again, that sound. There it is, all throughout country music. So the whole lick together, let me just play it for you. One more time. 1, 2. All right, so let's hear those again with the band. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I appreciate you, as always, watching. If you want to click the link in the show description, you can get a transcript to the music that I've shared with you today. Also, there will be an option to get a video that goes into further detail on this song. We cover some more aspects, and I give you a few more tips and tricks of the pros. Thanks for watching.